Hey, have you ever heard of the Giganotosaurus? Maybe this name doesn't carry the same weight as a Tyrannosaurus rex, but trust me, it should. Millions of years ago in South America, a creature ruled with no rivals. It was the undisputed apex predator, a relentless hunter that vanished from history without a trace. While the T-Rex became a pop culture icon, this giant was forgotten, until an unexpected discovery brought its legend back to life. But why was it forgotten? How did one of the largest carnivores in history disappear without a trace, only to be rediscovered just a few decades ago? And, perhaps the most intriguing question, why did it vanish millions of years before the mass extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs? The answers to these questions will surprise you. Stick around, because what you're about to learn about this giant might change everything you thought you knew about dinosaurs. Let's dive in. Around 97 million years ago, South America was a land ruled by giants. Across vast plains and tropical forests, colossal herbivores like the Argentinosaurus roamed the continent, relying on their enormous size for protection. But even they weren't safe. In this world, one predator stood at the very top of the food chain, the Giganotosaurus. At about 45 feet long and weighing up to 17,600 pounds, Giganotosaurus was one of the largest theropods to ever walk the earth. It rivaled the famous Tyrannosaurus rex in size, but it belonged to a completely different lineage, the Carcharodontosaurs. This meant that its hunting style and anatomy were entirely different from the tyrannosaurs of the northern hemisphere. This carnivorous giant dominated Patagonia, Argentina, a region that, back then, was part of the supercontinent Gondwana. Unlike the modern arid landscapes of Patagonia, this prehistoric habitat was filled with lush subtropical forests, rivers, and fertile plains, home to massive titanosaurs, the largest herbivorous dinosaurs to ever exist. The abundance of these gigantic prey is what allowed the evolution of such an enormous predator. Giganotosaurus evolved in a world of giants, and to hunt them, it had to become one of the largest predators ever known. But its size wasn't its only weapon. Unlike Tyrannosaurus rex, which wouldn't appear for another 30 million years, Giganotosaurus had an elongated skull and serrated blade-like teeth, perfect for slicing through flesh and inflicting devastating wounds. It didn't crush bones like T-Rex. It cut its prey down until escape was no longer an option. While T-Rex relied on sheer brute force, Giganotosaurus was fast and relentless. Its attacks were quick and repeated, slashing deep wounds that slowly drained its prey's energy. In a world where adaptation meant survival, this strategy placed it at the very top of the food chain, making it the deadliest and most feared predator in South America. But why did this colossal hunter remain unknown for so long? Despite ruling South America during the Cretaceous period, its existence wasn't uncovered until the late 20th century. And its discovery? It happened entirely by chance, in a find that would forever change what we know about prehistoric apex predators. For millions of years, Giganotosaurus ruled South America, but after its extinction, its name vanished along with it. While fossils of other great predators, like Tyrannosaurus rex, were being discovered and studied as early as the 19th century, Giganotosaurus remained a mystery until one unexpected event changed everything. The year was 1993. In the arid lands of Patagonia, Argentina, a farmer named Ruben Dario Carolini was walking across the dry terrain of Neuquén province. He wasn't a paleontologist, just a prehistoric enthusiast, but something caught his attention: a massive bone, partially buried in the ground. He didn't know exactly what it was, but he was sure it didn't belong to an ordinary animal. What he found was the first ever fossil of Giganotosaurus. The skull, incomplete but massive, revealed a giant predator unlike anything ever recorded in South America. Paleontologists were quickly called in to investigate, and the excavation uncovered a skeleton that was about 70% complete, one of the most well-preserved fossils of a large theropod. The discovery was a shock. Up until then, Tyrannosaurus rex was believed to be the largest land predator in history. But the measurements of this new fossil suggested that this South American dinosaur could have been even bigger. At about 45 feet long and weighing up to 17,600 pounds, It directly rivaled the so-called king of the dinosaurs. The scientific community quickly recognized the importance of the discovery, and the new predator was officially named Giganotosaurus carolinii, in honor of the man who found it. What was even more impressive was the location of the discovery. New Guinea was already famous for its giant sauropod fossils, including Argentinosaurus and Andosaurus. The fact that such a massive predator was found in the same region suggested that it might have been the top hunter of these titans, raising the possibility that it hunted in groups to take down such enormous prey. But this discovery raised an even bigger question. Why did such a massive predator remain unknown for so long? The answer may lie in the geography of the region. Unlike North America, where vast rock formations have continuously exposed fossils over time, South America has many layers of sediment that remain unexplored. This means that other colossal predators may have existed without ever being discovered. What if I told you there are still monsters buried beneath the earth, waiting to be unearthed? Giganotosaurus remained hidden for millions of years, while other dinosaurs became legends. But unlike him, you don't have to wait millions of years to join this family. Subscribe now and uncover the greatest dinosaur secrets. Let's go! Giganotosaurus opened a new chapter in paleontology. It proved that the dominance of apex predators wasn't exclusive to T-Rex and that South America also had its own giant carnivorous monsters. But the biggest question remained, was it truly the largest land predator in history? The answer would come with further research, as Giganotosaurus was compared to other colossal predators. But does size alone make a dinosaur deadlier? Since the discovery of Giganotosaurus, one question has been circulating among paleontologists and dinosaur enthusiasts. Was it the largest land predator to ever walk the earth? For years, that title belonged to Tyrannosaurus rex, the undisputed ruler of North America, known for its bone-crushing bite and sheer brute force. But now, a worthy rival had emerged in South America, and the numbers suggested it might even surpass the king. The fossil found in New Guinea revealed a dinosaur about 45 feet long, with some individuals possibly reaching 47 feet. Its estimated weight ranged between 15,400 and 17,600 pounds, which was close to that of T-Rex, whose largest specimens measured around 40 to 43 feet long and weighed up to 20,000 pounds. If size alone determined dominance, Giganotosaurus would be the clear winner. But being bigger doesn't always mean being stronger. T-Rex was much more robust, with denser bones and powerful muscles, which explained its slightly higher weight. While Giganotosaurus had a longer, narrower skull, T-Rex had a shorter, more massive, and heavily reinforced one, designed to withstand immense crushing forces. The biggest difference between these two giants was their bite force. Tyrannosaurus rex had one of the most powerful bites in history, capable of exerting over 35,000 newtons of force, enough to crush bones like dry twigs. In comparison, Giganotosaurus had a much weaker bite, estimated between 6,000 and 13,000 newtons, similar to the bite force of a modern Nile crocodile. But this apparent disadvantage didn't make it any less deadly. Instead of killing with a single devastating bite like T-Rex, Giganotosaurus had its own unique strategy. Its serrated teeth were perfect for slicing through flesh, opening massive wounds that caused its prey to bleed out. While T-Rex dominated with brute force, Giganotosaurus was a predator of endurance and precision, turning each attack into a slow but lethal blow. But was it truly the largest land carnivore in history? The answer is no. Recent studies suggest that while Giganotosaurus was enormous, another predator may have been even bigger, Spinosaurus. Discovered in Africa, this dinosaur may have exceeded 50 feet in length, making it the longest known land carnivore. However, Spinosaurus had a much lighter build and was adapted for a semi-aquatic lifestyle, meaning it wasn't a true terrestrial apex predator like Giganotosaurus or T-Rex. And if you want to learn more about Spinosaurus, I'll leave a link to our video on it in the final card when this one ends. Make sure to check it out. At the end of the day, Giganotosaurus still holds an impressive place among the greatest predators in history, but its title depends on the criteria being analyzed. If we consider length alone, it ranks among the top contenders. But if we're talking about absolute power, T-Rex still has the edge. However, size wasn't the only impressive thing about Giganotosaurus. What truly made it stand out wasn't just how big it was, but how it hunted. Its possible hunting strategies made it one of the most efficient predators of its time. If it fed on colossal prey like Argentinosaurus, how did it manage to take them down? Did it hunt alone, or did it need help? The evidence suggests a fascinating answer. Hunting smaller, easier prey wasn't Giganotosaurus style. Unlike other predators that specialized in ambushing medium-sized dinosaurs, it lived in a land dominated by giants. In the same region where its fossils were found, paleontologists unearthed the remains of some of the largest dinosaurs to ever exist, including Argentinosaurus, a true titan that could reach 115 feet in length and weigh over 150,000 pounds. This raised one of the biggest questions about Giganotosaurus. How could a predator weighing only 17,600 pounds hunt prey nearly 10 times its size? The first theory suggested that Giganotosaurus might have been a scavenger, feeding on the carcasses of dead titanosaurs. However, this idea lost credibility when fossilized bones were found with tooth marks showing signs of attacks while the prey was still alive. This suggested that Giganotosaurus wasn't just feeding on these giants, it was actively hunting them. So how did it do it? The answer might lie in its social behavior. Some evidence suggests that Giganotosaurus may have hunted in groups, increasing its chances of taking down an Argentinosaurus. While there's no definitive proof that Giganotosaurus lived and hunted in packs, there are clues that hint at the possibility. Fossilized footprints of large theropods have been found moving in the same direction, indicating that these predators may have traveled together at times. Additionally, fossils of Carcharodontosaurids, like Mapusaurus, a close relative of Giganotosaurus, show signs of group behavior. If Mapusaurus hunted in packs, it makes sense to speculate that Giganotosaurus may have done the same, especially when dealing with enormous prey like Argentinosaurus. But what do you think? Do you believe Giganotosaurus hunted in packs, or was it a solitary predator? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion. Regardless of the answer, one thing is certain: even with strength and strategy on its side, taking down a titanosaur was a monumental challenge. These colossi may have been slow and even clumsy at times, but they were far from easy prey. Their natural defenses were brutal. A single swing of their massive tails, powered by tons of muscle, could deal irreversible damage to any careless predator. Giganotosaurus couldn't afford to attack head-on. It needed strategy. Instead of a direct confrontation, it likely relied on coordinated, precise strikes, surrounding its prey and delivering repeated, strategic wounds until it was too weak to fight back. The most probable method? Endurance hunting. Just like modern wolves or hyenas, Giganotosaurus may have exhausted its prey by attacking in turns, inflicting deep cuts and fatal blood loss. Its serrated teeth, designed specifically for tearing flesh, made every bite an open wound that weakened its victims over time. This strategy makes sense when compared to modern predators that take down prey much larger than themselves. Lions, for example, hunt buffalo by biting at their legs to immobilize them before delivering the final blow. If Giganotosaurus used a similar approach, it could have taken down even the largest sauropods through patience and teamwork. This hunting technique wouldn't have been limited to titanosaurs. It could have been equally effective against smaller prey, like iguanodonts, or even other carnivorous dinosaurs. A well-coordinated ambush might have allowed a group of Giganotosaurus to dominate the food chain, ensuring no other predator could rival them in their territory. But even as a formidable hunter, Giganotosaurus still faced challenges. Size and strength made it the apex predator of South America, but nature doesn't favor the strongest, it favors the most adaptable. To survive in a world full of dangers, it needed more than brute force. It needed the right weapons, and its body was built for the job. From its lateral vision, which helped it track movement around its surroundings, to its surprising agility for a predator of its size, every aspect of its anatomy was fine-tuned to make it a lethal hunter. The skull was a true weapon. At nearly 6 feet long, it was one of the largest skulls ever recorded among theropod dinosaurs. But size wasn't its only advantage. It was also remarkably lightweight for a predator of its scale. This allowed Giganotosaurus to move its head faster than other massive theropods, making its attacks quicker and more efficient without wasting unnecessary energy. Additionally, its long, muscular legs indicate that, for a dinosaur of its size, it was relatively fast. Estimates suggest it could reach speeds of up to 20 miles per hour, a crucial advantage when chasing giant prey and striking at the perfect moment. Its body combined strength and speed, making it capable of short chases and deadly ambushes. However, there was one major limitation. Its eyes were positioned more laterally, restricting its binocular vision, unlike T-Rex, which had far superior depth perception. This means that Giganotosaurus couldn't focus directly on its prey with the same three-dimensional accuracy. To compensate for this disadvantage, it likely relied on quick head and body movements, constantly adjusting its angle of vision until it found the perfect moment to strike and deliver a lethal blow. But if Giganotosaurus was such a well-adapted and efficient predator, why did it disappear millions of years before the mass extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs? Believe it or not, the asteroid impact that devastated life on Earth wasn't what caused its extinction. By the time that cataclysmic event occurred, Giganotosaurus was already just a shadow of the past. Its disappearance wasn't sudden, but rather the result of something even more relentless: gradual changes in the natural world. But what exactly sealed its fate? Food scarcity? Competition with new predators? An irreversible transformation in the environment? The fossil record holds clues that might finally unlock this mystery. Giganotosaurus never saw the devastating asteroid that ended the age of the dinosaurs. By the time that impact wiped out most life on Earth 66 million years ago, the great South American predator had already been extinct for over 30 million years. Its story ended long before, in a less dramatic but equally final way. Around 97 million years ago, Giganotosaurus fossils suddenly stopped appearing. There was no evidence of a sudden or violent extinction, but rather a slow and silent disappearance. This suggests that its extinction was caused by natural factors, likely linked to subtle but fatal environmental changes. The most accepted hypothesis among scientists is that small but continuous shifts in South America's climate and vegetation began affecting the availability of food. Since Giganotosaurus depended heavily on massive sauropods to survive, any decline in these giant herbivores could have been catastrophic for its survival. Another possible factor was the rise of new, smaller, and more agile predators, such as Mapusaurus, which may have gradually taken over its role in the ecosystem. This would have increased competition, making it even harder for Giganotosaurus to thrive. Whether these factors acted alone or together, the result was the same: Giganotosaurus slowly lost its dominance. Its population gradually declined until, finally, the most powerful predator in South America simply vanished, leaving behind a silent mystery that still puzzles scientists today. For millions of years, it was forgotten. Its fossils remained buried, erasing its existence from history, until the 20th century changed everything. It wasn't until the 1990s that the world finally met Giganotosaurus, and from that moment on, it went from being a lost predator of the past to an iconic dinosaur, recognized across pop culture. For millions of years, Giganotosaurus was nothing more than a ghost of prehistory. Unlike Tyrannosaurus rex, whose fossils had been discovered as early as the 19th century, South America's largest predator wasn't recognized until the late 20th century. This meant that it was absent from books, documentaries, and films for almost the entire history of modern paleontology. But everything changed in 1993, when Ruben Carolini unearthed the first Giganotosaurus fossil in Patagonia. From that moment on, it went from a forgotten predator to an icon of paleontology. It was the first dinosaur to challenge T-Rex in size, sparking massive interest among scientists and enthusiasts alike. Over time, Giganotosaurus began to appear in documentaries and books, gradually gaining recognition in specialized media. But it wasn't until the 2000s and 2010s that it truly began to cement its place in popular imagination. And it didn't take long for Hollywood to recognize its potential. In 2022, it finally stepped into the spotlight with its appearance in Jurassic World: Dominion. In the film, it was portrayed as the largest predator in history, a colossal monster that even dared to challenge Tyrannosaurus rex itself. But now, it has finally stepped out of obscurity and the shadow of T-Rex to claim its place in pop culture. And if you think this giant deserves more recognition, hit the like button. Just like science brought Giganotosaurus back into the light, we can make sure it's never forgotten again. Let's do this. Of course, the movie version took several creative liberties. The Jurassic World Giganotosaurus was even bigger than real fossils suggest and displayed a far more aggressive behavior than scientists believe it had in real life. But that didn't matter. For the first time, it was competing with T-Rex in popular culture, earning legendary status. After its big screen debut, Giganotosaurus started appearing in toys, games, and TV series, solidifying its place as one of the most famous dinosaurs in the world. But why did it make such an impact? The reason is simple: it shattered a long-standing paradigm. For decades, Tyrannosaurus rex was considered the biggest and deadliest predator in history, but Giganotosaurus proved that wasn't necessarily true. It showed that South America had its own kings and that the prehistoric throne didn't belong solely to T-Rex. But its greatest contribution wasn't to pop culture, it was to paleontology itself. What did its discovery reveal about carnivorous dinosaurs? And more importantly, what secrets are still waiting to be uncovered? Giganotosaurus was a titan that once walked the earth, a predator so massive that it rivaled any other ever discovered. But for millions of years, its existence remained a secret buried in rock, forgotten by time. When its fossils were finally unearthed, they didn't just reveal a monster from the past, they rewrote our understanding of carnivorous dinosaurs. Before its discovery, the largest apex predators were believed to come from the northern hemisphere. Tyrannosaurus rex was the ultimate symbol of the top of the food chain, and few imagined that long before it ever existed, a rival of similar size had already ruled an entire continent. The discovery of Giganotosaurus proved that the South had its own kings, and that the dominance of giant carnivores extended far beyond what science had previously imagined. Today, Giganotosaurus is recognized as one of the largest theropods ever discovered, proof that the Americas were home to predators just as colossal and deadly as anywhere else in the world. But despite its massive presence, it still holds many secrets. Unlike T-Rex, whose fossils have been found in various states of preservation over the decades, the most complete Giganotosaurus skeleton represents only about 70% of its original structure. This means that there are still gaps in our knowledge, and each new discovery has the potential to drastically change our understanding of its anatomy and behavior. But perhaps its greatest legacy isn't just its size or ferocity, it's what it represents. How much there is still left to uncover. Its skeleton remains incomplete, and the lands of South America still hold buried secrets waiting to be revealed. The story of Giganotosaurus, though it began millions of years ago, is still being written. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments what surprised you the most about this colossal predator. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.